Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes Millennium to back Goldman Sachs Veterans Asia Hedge Fund. Hong Kong stocks slip in worst month since February on China data, Fed outlook. Ex-Deutsche banker seeks $800 million in challenging market. China stocks erase gains spurred by rescue package optimism. The Chinese transformation of Hong Kong is almost complete. Millennium to back Goldman Sachs Veterans Asia Hedge Fund. Bloomberg. Millennium Management plans to back former Goldman Sachs Managing Director Jamie Goodman's upcoming Asia hedge fund firm with $500 million, according to sources. Goodman's fund will focus on Asia-Pacific equity capital market deals such as IPOs, share sales, and block trades. This is a rare instance of Millennium backing a hedge fund run by a non-alumnus in Asia, and is part of the firm's efforts to expand its trading capacity and attract talent. Hong Kong stocks slip in worst month since February on China data, Fed outlook. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong stocks are set for their worst performance in 11 months following China's shrinking manufacturing sector in January, which highlights a lack of stimulus for economic recovery. The Hang Seng Index fell 1% to 15,544.90, marking an 8.8% decline for the month, the worst since February 2016. The tech index dropped 2.2% and the Shanghai Composite Index retreated 0.8%. The weak state of China's economy has resulted in a lack of policy support and a need for stimulus to boost demand. Ex-Deutsche banker seeks $800 million in challenging market. Bloomberg. Alternative investment firm Templewater is seeking up to $800 million for two funds targeting mid-sized firms in Asia and clean energy technology companies. The Hong Kong-based company, co-founded by a former Deutsche Bank banker in 2018, aims to raise $400 to $500 million for its second private equity fund and $300 million for a decarbonization fund. Templewater is hoping that a 65% capital distribution from its first fund by year-end will persuade existing backers and new investors to participate in the second fund. The firm's decarbonization fund has already secured commitments from Hong Kong-listed CIMC Enrique Holdings and Canadian fuel cell maker Ballard Power Systems. China stocks erase gains spurred by rescue package optimism. Bloomberg. Chinese stocks continued to decline on Wednesday, with the CSI 300 benchmark for mainland shares falling 1.1% after data showed another monthly contraction in manufacturing activity. This decline erases all the gains made since January 22, when reports of a $279 billion rescue package and authorities' promise of more forceful measures sparked a rebound in Chinese equities. Concerns about the outlook for Chinese equities have resurfaced due to a lack of details on the reported stabilization fund and China Evergrande Group's liquidation. China's factory activity has contracted for the fourth consecutive month in January, further indicating weakness in the world's second-largest economy. $6 trillion has been wiped out from the market value of Chinese and Hong Kong stocks since their peak in 2021, prompting investors to demand bolder measures from authorities. The gauge of Chinese stocks listed in Hong Kong also dropped over 1%, bringing it closer to erasing all the gains since the rescue package report. The Chinese transformation of Hong Kong is almost complete. Bloomberg. Hong Kong's proposed new security law will further transform the city into a mainland Chinese city, damaging its global reputation and business prospects. The law, known as Article 23, is being justified as a means to attract foreign investment and keep the city safe, but in reality, it is about exerting control. The city has already changed significantly in recent years, and with this new law, the Chinese transformation is almost complete. The law will likely put a chill on people sharing information and intelligence and spook investors, causing further damage to Hong Kong's reputation and business image. Hong Kong team heads to Thailand looking to build on golf's elite year. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's top amateur golfers will compete in the Women's Amateur Asia-Pacific Championship in Thailand, looking to cement their status as elite athletes. The team of 6 will be led by last year's third-place finisher Sophie Han, and will compete against defending champion Isla Galitsky and runner-up Min Sol Kim. Head coach of the Golf Association of Hong Kong, Tim Tang, said there was a buzz around the city's players as they headed into the new season, and highlighted the progress made in the past year. The winner of the championship will earn exemptions into 3 major championships in 2024. U.S. firms in Taiwan adapt by picking local partners as investments grow, AmCham. South China Morning Post. U.S. businesses in Taiwan are turning to local tech firms to build partnerships and diversify their supply chains, according to the American Chamber of Commerce in Taipei. The move comes as businesses look to reduce dependence on a single source or region, in response to global supply chain disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and geopolitical tensions. Taiwan, a major global supplier of high-tech equipment, has seen increased interest from U.S. companies in recent years due to its position at the center of global manufacturing supply chains for PCs and smartphones. The island supplies around 60% of the world's semiconductor chips, making it a key player in the technology and semiconductor industries. U.S. investment in Taiwan has also grown, with approved investments reaching their highest single-year dollar amount since 2008, according to Taiwan's Department of Investment Review. The American Chamber of Commerce survey of its members found that 41% of respondents expected to increase investments in Taiwan in 2024, while 51% plan to hold investments at current levels. Iconic brands and new stars show Hong Kong has what it takes for global success. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong must nurture a new breed of iconic brands to navigate its way out of its economic glut and propel itself forward on the global stage, according to Jeffrey Wu, a director at MindWorks Capital. Wu said trust alone will not be enough for success in today's market, and that creating an iconic brand has never been more difficult. He pointed out that data has become a crucial asset in understanding and predicting consumer behavior, and that product differentiation now hinges on brand, innovation, and the ability to deliver unique value propositions. Raimondo warns Chinese EVs pose national, data security risks. Bloomberg. U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo has warned that Chinese-made electric vehicles pose significant national security risks, as the Biden administration considers imposing additional tariffs on autos from the country, as well as introducing measures to protect Americans' personal information. Raimondo's comments came as the White House prepares an executive order to prevent foreign adversaries from accessing highly sensitive individual data, and as officials worry about China's overcapacity in older generation chips that are essential to the global economy. The administration is currently deciding whether to increase duties on certain Chinese imports, including electric vehicles. Spot prices point to mid-year energy relief for households. The Sydney Morning Herald. Wholesale electricity prices in Australia are expected to fall in the coming months, potentially providing relief to struggling households. Record output from rooftop solar installations and mild spot price outcomes contributed to the decline. However, it will take time before these lower prices are reflected in consumers' bills. The Australian energy regulator also noted that annual inflation has nearly halved in the past year, further easing pressures on households. Hong Kong's role as the gateway to China faces a new threat. The Sydney Morning Herald. Hong Kong is set to introduce new national security laws that echo those introduced in China last year. The proposed laws cover issues such as treason, insurrection, sedition, theft of state secrets, espionage, and external interference in Hong Kong's affairs. The new legislation has sparked concern among foreign investors and professionals, who fear that it will further limit their access to data, insights, and routine due diligence on investments. China's national security laws have already had a chilling effect on foreign investment, with the country experiencing net outflows despite efforts to encourage more foreign investment. Hong Kong's economy has also suffered, with a slowdown, low home prices, and a declining stock market. The proposed laws are likely to diminish Hong Kong's appeal as a major financial center and gateway for Western capital into China. The lack of definition of what constitutes a state secret under the new laws is causing further concern among expats in Hong Kong's business community. Hong Kong close to finding missing pieces of puzzle, men's cricket coach says. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's men's cricket team is preparing for a busy season that includes qualifiers for the Asian Cup and T20 World Cup, as well as the One-Day World Cup Challenge League. Head coach Simon Willis believes the team is close to finding the missing pieces of the puzzle to improve their status in world cricket. The team will play a tri-series at home against Malaysia and Canada to prepare for the upcoming tournaments. The squad includes both experienced and new players, with Willis expecting the likes of Ehsan Nawaz, Ronak Kapoor, and debutant Daniel Bukhari to provide an extra spark. China merges hundreds of rural banks as financial risks mount. Bloomberg. China is set to merge hundreds of rural lenders to create regional banks as the country's banking sector faces increasing financial stress. The consolidation is aimed at tackling the risks in the $6.7 trillion rural cooperative sector, which has been hit hard by the struggling real estate market and an overall fragile economy. The bad loan ratio for the 2,100 banks in the rural cooperative system was 3.48% at the end of 2022, more than twice the rate for the whole sector, and the consolidation is seen as a key solution to resolving these risks. We have to break free, Shenzhen reveals big tech plans to save China's economy. South China Morning Post. The Chinese city of Shenzhen, known as China's Silicon Valley, aims to double efforts to boost its high-tech industry and counter US-led restrictions on technology. The city, which was home to the first tech company on the US's Entity List, plans to achieve industrial output of over 1.5 trillion Chinese yuan, $209 billion, in strategic emerging industries by 2024, a growth of over 7%. America needs more China experts. Bloomberg. The decline in the number of Americans studying in China could have detrimental effects on U.S. interests. In the 2021 to 2022 academic year, only 211 Americans studied in China, down from nearly 15,000 a decade earlier. This is in contrast to the over 289,000 Chinese students who attended U.S. colleges and universities last year. The decline is due to pandemic-era travel restrictions as well as increased friction between Beijing and the West. To strengthen the U.S.'s ability to compete and cooperate with China, the Biden administration should focus on sending more students to China. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the sixth dimension, bringing you the latest news and insights from around the world. Today, we have a diverse range of stories, from hedge funds to golf championships, and everything in between. Let's dive in. First up, Millennium Management, a prominent hedge fund, plans to back a new Asia-focused fund run by former Goldman Sachs Managing Director Jamie Goodman. This move highlights Millennium's efforts to expand its trading capacity and attract talent in the region. In other news, Hong Kong stocks are experiencing their worst month since February, with the Hang Seng Index falling 1% due to China's shrinking manufacturing sector and a lack of policy support for economic recovery. This weakness in China's economy has prompted concerns and calls for more stimulus measures. Meanwhile, Temple Water, an alternative investment firm co-founded by a former Deutsche Bank banker, is seeking up to $800 million for two funds targeting mid-sized firms in Asia and clean energy technology companies. The firm's decarbonization fund has already secured commitments from notable companies, signaling growing interest in sustainable investments. Chinese stocks have continued to decline, erasing all the gains made since reports of a rescue package and authorities' promise of more forceful measures. China's factory activity has contracted for the fourth consecutive month, raising concerns about the outlook for the world's second-largest economy. In a concerning development, Hong Kong's proposed new security law, known as Article 23, will further transform the city into a mainland Chinese city. This move has raised worries about the erosion of Hong Kong's global reputation and business prospects. On a lighter note, Hong Kong's top amateur golfers are heading to Thailand to compete in the Women's Amateur Asia-Pacific Championship. The team is looking to solidify their status as elite athletes and make their mark in the golfing world. U.S. businesses in Taiwan are turning to local tech firms to build partnerships and diversify their supply chains, in response to global supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic and geopolitical tensions. Taiwan's position as a key player in the technology and semiconductor industries has attracted increased interest from U.S. companies. Hong Kong must nurture new iconic brands to navigate its way out of its economic glut, according to industry experts. Creating an iconic brand has become more challenging in today's market, where differentiation and delivering unique value propositions are crucial. U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo has warned about the national security risks posed by Chinese-made electric vehicles. The Biden administration is considering imposing additional tariffs on autos from China and introducing measures to protect Americans' personal information. Wholesale electricity prices in Australia are expected to fall in the coming months, potentially providing relief to struggling households. Record output from rooftop solar installations and mild spot price outcomes are contributing to the decline. Hong Kong's role as the gateway to China is facing a new threat with the introduction of new national security laws. Foreign investors and professionals fear that these laws will limit their access to data, insights, and routine due diligence on investments. Hong Kong's men's cricket team is preparing for a busy season, aiming to improve their status in world cricket. The team will compete in qualifiers for various tournaments, and the head coach believes they are close to finding the missing pieces of the puzzle. China is set to merge hundreds of rural lenders to create regional banks, as the country's banking sector faces increasing financial stress. This consolidation aims to tackle the risks in the rural cooperative sector, which has been hit hard by the struggling real estate market and a fragile economy. The Chinese city of Shenzhen is doubling its efforts to boost its high-tech industry and counter U.S.-led restrictions on technology. Shenzhen plans to achieve significant growth in strategic emerging industries by 2024, positioning itself as a key player in the tech world. Lastly, there has been a decline in the number of Americans studying in China, which could have detrimental effects on U.S. interests. To strengthen the U.S.'s ability to compete and cooperate with China, the Biden administration should focus on sending more students to China. That's a wrap on today's news. As always, I encourage you to share your thoughts and ideas. What do you make of these stories? Do you have any questions? Let's continue the discussion together. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the Sachs team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of Sachs brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the Sachs team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize Sachs brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, sachsbrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive Sachs brief via email.